For it.
Welcome to Invest and Play. Today, out in beautiful Colorado, we have a sneak peek at our brand new 2020 Northstar Liberty camper, which we picked up yesterday. And we'll take you a quick walk around of it. But last night was our very first night in the camper, and it did pretty good. It was great to have it mounted up, and all of our work that we had done with the tie downs for the camper all fit and worked well, and our fuel tank in the front was no issue with fitment, and our bed slides all worked great. So it was kind of fun to kind of have it all pieced together and have it all work. We will be doing a full detailed walkthrough on the camper, but figured we would just do kind of a delivery video and show you kind of around it. So let's go ahead and take a quick walk around and you can see the outside. It fits pretty well in the truck. We put on the swing brackets, which give it enough clearance to clear the slider when you load it and unload it. And you can see it's in the front. It hangs over the windshield a bit, but not terrible. It looks fairly fit for the size of the truck, but it is definitely a big camper. At least I think it's a big camper. And on the other side, we've got more windows. Let's take a quick peek inside too. And inside, so we have a little wet bath, same as our Northstar 2013 camper that we had. We did a tour of the fridge, dinette area, kitchen area, and then the overhead bed area that's behind Faith there. You want to pan around and take a look at that. Yeah, look at that. So the guys over at Northstar were really nice to be able to try to customize this to what we were trying to use it for. Most campers are very set up for, I will say, kind of resort style campground type dwelling, whereas we did not want to use this at all for anything that was in connection zone, so it's all going to be off grid. And they kind of build this weird camper that's kind of in the middle, so it's not really fully dedicated to the overland type of people, but it has a lot of the really good components in it, and the construction on it's really good. So figured if we took that and basically have them scale it back and make it more stripped down and basically remove a bunch of stuff that they normally include, that would be a pretty good camper for us. Now this, compared to the four-wheel camper that we used to have, the four-wheel Hawk camper, is completely the opposite. So the Hawk camper from four-wheel, it's a pop-up camper, and basically they include nothing on it standard. So you start with just an empty shell, and then you can get it built out with their basic features, and then you can add stuff. But literally everything is an additional cost, additional charge to get something that would be similar features of what this camper is. You couldn't even really do it, but if you were trying to spec it out, it would cost a lot of money. It would be significantly more expensive than this camper. So this camper basically starts out with everything included, and then we try to take off all the stuff that we didn't want and need and so forth. So stuff like the TV mount and TV and the front roof exit hatch that they have over the bed and whatnot, stuff like that. We just didn't want any of it. The holes for the front window, that pop-out window that you see through the cab, I think is pointless. There's like this hood vent for the stove, which once again, not really going to ever use it, and also it's another hole in the exterior, so just didn't really want anything that it wasn't going to offer anything for us. So all that stuff kind of want to get rid of. I think we only added 2 features, and we'll look over the invoice when we do a detailed look, but we added the compressor fridge, so this is a non-propane fridge, and it's a really minimal charge for it. Unlike four-wheel camper, when you change the fridge to a different style, you basically pay the entire cost of the fridge. They don't give you any credit for whatever was originally in there as far as what you originally spec'd, so they kind of rip you off on that. these guys, really good deal on that stuff. The glass cooktop, glass sink, you know, it's really nice stuff, and they don't charge you a huge amount for it. The biggest disappointment we had, I guess there was 3 different things that we had talked about and sent emails to them and whatnot about trying to have certain things, additional things not included or changed on it. And there was a few of them that they didn't do, and it was kind of a drag. They used to have a standard is a gray water tank that sits underneath the camper in kind of like this garage space basement underneath the floor here, and we didn't want that because we don't want to carry around gray water. So I requested them just to terminate the plumbing and not run it underneath there, because we're going to use that for storage. But they ran the piping underneath there anyways. So stuff like that was kind of annoying, you know, to see. But the biggest thing that we were really frustrated about was this hole in the ceiling. So as you can see in the back, we have a roof vent in the back, which is great. It's a max fan, so that you can crank this and the lid cranks up. It's got the rain shield on it. It's got a temperature sensor. It's got multi-speed fan. It's sweet. We had this in our RV, loved it, and we had specifically talked to them as a high priority item of not only limiting how many holes were in the exterior, which is why we got rid of the vent for the stove, but also trying to give more room on the roof for solar. So the big thing of removing that huge, if you look at their campers, they have a huge exit vent that sits over the bed, which is kind of cool, but not really necessary. But it basically ruins all your roof space for solar. So with that removed, which is great, gives enough room for 3 different panels. We're going to put 3 flexible panels up there. I think they're 160 watt each, so that's going to be pretty nice. But we were also planning on putting 3 panels in this section of the roof, which is why we didn't want this. So this hole, basically they put in if you option it with air conditioning. And in our case, we did not want air conditioning. We didn't want a vent. We didn't want anything. However, I think they just completely weren't paying attention, and yeah, just lack of detail with it. And they put in this vent. It's like it looks like it's from the 70s, but it's a crank open roof vent that has no fan in it or anything. It's just another hole in the roof that takes away from our space for solar. So we're not sure what we're going to do with it. We talked to the guys over at Northstar, and they basically said we're out of luck. It's our problem to deal with, which was a super big drag. I mean, I think it's a great value for it. I think they do a really good job overall with the construction of it. But I think that interaction was just lacking in customer service, we'll say. And they could definitely do a lot better with that. And if they needed to charge more money for their camper to do that, you know, I think they have that there to be able to do that. But anyways, we're going to have to figure out if we're going to put a different fan in this thing, try to block it in and cover it up, and so we have more room for solar, or what we're going to do. We don't really know at this point, but that was the biggest downside kind of drag with picking up this camper the other day. That was kind of a disappointment. So otherwise, it's been pretty great. We really like the fitment of it overall, and the space is really nice, and we will do a detailed tour of it coming up. So stay tuned on that, and be sure to hit like. If you have any questions, post them below and I'll try to respond to them. And otherwise, thanks for watching. Look forward to sharing more upcoming. Thanks so much.
I'm in the camper.
Do you like it?
I do like it a lot. It's a bit smaller than our other one, but I do like that it's a little bit more ninja, doesn't hang off the back. I cooked in it last night. It was great. The new Dometic is slightly larger than the old one, which makes it easier to cook on, and it was rather quiet. It's really bright too. I really enjoy it.
Sweet.
Very open. We'll explore it for the next few days before we take it home and do some modifications to it.